So I debated where in my process I was going to bring you guys in with me, and I decided I'd bring you guys in right at the start because honestly, I'm just a little bit lonely. My plans have changed drastically. I was supposed to go with a friend of mine to see the K-pop Demon Hunters movie tonight. It is the sing-along version of the Netflix movie, and this is a first. Usually movies go from the theater to Netflix, and this movie is going from Netflix to the theater. And if you've been living under a rock, K-pop Demon Hunters is an animated musical about two K-pop groups, a boy band named the Saja Boys and our heroines, the girl group Huntrix. And the girl group can save the world if they have enough fans, and they save it by creating a sort of magical dome over the world with the love of their fans called the Hanmun, and the evil demon boy band will steal the souls of the fans. And that's kind of the whole premise. And we were gonna go tonight and do the sing-along version. I've been practicing the songs, learning the lyrics. I still don't have all of it down very well because some of it is rapped and some of it switches back and forth into Korean, which, surprise, I do not speak. I also do not rap in Korean. So some of it is a little bit hard, and I am an alto, and I can sometimes sing into the mezzo range if I'm very well warmed up. My voice is healthy, and some of the notes go a little bit too high for me. I can do it if I'm really well warmed up, but we'll see how it goes. So unfortunately, she has older parents and they are not in the best of health, and she is actually out of town right now with her father, who was hospitalized last night. So if you pray, send some prayers his way. If you send energy and good thoughts, please send those his way, and just keep him in mind and keep her in mind, and just hope that he does well and that the doctors can take care of him and that he will be home soon and doing much better. But it means that tonight I am seeing the movie alone. I went and saw Wicked alone. I'm getting very tired of seeing movies alone. I'm tired of putting energy into my makeup and my hair and getting really excited about doing things with people and having events canceled at the last minute. Part of me wanted to cancel. I had a whole great idea of dyeing my hair, buying things, and this is not all the hair, by the way, you'll see at the end. But, you know, I bought things and I spent money, and, you know, all these things were going to happen, and moving those out of the way, now they're not. And it's really hard not to just be super bummed. And of course, you know, she can't control what's going on with her dad, and I wouldn't want her to. Even if she'd said, oh, I'll leave him for a few hours, I'll go with you. No, I would want her to be there with him, and, you know, that sort of thing comes first. And if she were to text me and say, he's gotten worse, you know, you should come now and be there with me, of course I would immediately leave the theater and text Richard and we'd be gone. You know, obviously family comes first, and she is my family. I don't really have any close family in the area, so my friends are my family and their family is my family. So obviously I would be there, but right now he's just being monitored. And so it's not something where, you know, I have to drop everything and go. She needs to be there. And so it's, you know, it sucks that she can't go with me. I was really looking forward to it. We haven't been able to hang out and, you know, do really fun things in a while. And so I was really looking forward to it. And the fact that she's not here, you know, it just sucks. So, you know, we were going to go over to her house where there's AC, and, you know, we were going to do fun makeup. She has not seen the movie. So it was going to be a first for her. And so that was going to be super fun for me. And, you know, I was going to talk her into letting me do her makeup as a character makeup, and just, it's really gonna be fun. So if you haven't been able to guess already by the blue highlights and the space buns and, you know, all that, I am going to go with Zoe inspired makeup this time. So we are doing a pink and pearl eye makeup. Zoe is the sort of younger energy character. She's very cute, she's very soft, until you give her a mic, and then she is a battle rapper. She is the one that, you know, was raised in two cultures, which I very much identify with. She is sort of Korean American, I am Indonesian American, so beyond the fact that, you know, she had sort of this shorter hairstyle, which was the easiest for me to pull off, you know, I just kind of identified with that the most. All right, I think that is as rubbed in as that is going to get, as moisturized as we are going to get, so let's move on to primer. I kind of cleaned up a little bit, but I am still not organized. I just, you know, I was gonna take stuff and go over to her place, so it was organized for that, and now I'm kind of scrambling because, you know, everything was moved and now I can't find anything here. All right, let's get this on. I love this tip. It lets me draw all over my face. and it is warm in here, so I'm hoping it'll absorb all the extra oil and sweat that's trying to break through. I'm actually gonna set my face once this goes on before I get my foundation on. Now the movie is at 6:30, so we've got a little under 2 hours. And usually it's pretty cold in theaters, so I'm not worried about that, but I am worried about sweat breaking through my makeup before I get out of here. And then of course, there's no AC in the car on the way over. One nice thing about hanging out with my friend is that, of course, over at her house, there is AC, but also in her car, there's AC. Now, my friend Benson that did my hair for me, I used our public transit to get a ride over there. So there was AC on the ride over, but then we did my hair out in his backyard. So there was obviously no AC out there. And then I, took a ride back and there was AC, but we were standing out waiting for the ride, and then the app canceled the ride for some reason. There was like a glitch or something. So we were standing out there and I'm like, okay, it's getting hot. And I looked down at my app and it's gone. And I'm like, okay. So we had to call. And they're like, oh, I didn't put in an address. And I'm like, yeah, I did. They're like, oh, it switched to your like current location. I'm like, okay, your app did that. And they're like, well, we need an address. I'm like, then why does your app have an option for that if it can't use it? Like, you developed the app. If you can't use it, why is it there? Okay, it did not absorb moisture, so let's see if I can dab a little bit of it off first. So it is, at last check, 102 outside. I don't know how warm it is in here. I actually added an extra fan down underneath my desk so that my legs are a little cooler. Let's see if this will help. Maybe a little. I'll set it super fast. Okay, so I did dampen this. I think I'm gonna see if I can add just a little more. Let's squeeze it out again. So Zoe is very young and fresh-faced, and normally I would be adding a lot of contours and highlights to my face with contour, but also a lot of concealer, but I don't want to do that for her. So I'm actually going to blend a lighter foundation in with my normal one. So I'm gonna go in with Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Foundation in shade 110. Oop. With the Maybelline Superstay Lumi Matte Foundation in 120. That's a lot, but since we're not going in with any concealer, I think it'll be okay. Just gonna give it a mix here. That's fun. I'm putting on some more paint. All right, now I'll go in and put it on my sponge. I got so much. All right, we'll work this in. I'm gonna try very hard not to get any into my hairline because this is all sprayed in and I cannot adjust it to get it cleaned. So I'm gonna take my mirror and I'm gonna get quiet and I'll see you on the other side. All right, we are back. I'm going to now fix these brows super quick. Now, help me decide. I'm kind of debating maybe going over them with a tiny bit, just maybe a couple hair strokes of blue eyeliner to kind of match the tiny amounts of blue highlight in my hair. What do you guys think? Should I try it, and then if I don't like it, just wipe them out? What do you think? Let's even see if it would work. Because I got a free gift with my last order, Profusion, and I haven't really gone over it yet. So I got some metallic eye pigment in white gold. It's just a loose pigment. I got another Spell eyeliner in charcoal, which is awesome because this is my most used pencil and I'm already like 3/4 of the way done. I have a long-lasting liquid eyeliner pen in black. Haven't attempted to use that one yet. And then I got this one in the color Sapphire. So tempted just to try like literally 1 or 2 swipes. Just like, just like that. Like, I don't even think you guys can see it. And I probably was holding a mirror in front of me the whole time anyway. Let's try like that. I made that one a little higher to fill in the gap. I like it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna overthink it. Okay, moving right along. Now, Zoe has a very subtle eye look. She doesn't actually like close her eyes much at all. I went looking back through and tried to like screen grab. I think I'll add like up in here somewhere the screen grabs that I got. So thinking if I can, thinking maybe this shimmer here, maybe some options here with these mattes, and then there's always this palette with the pinks. And then I know this is a wild card, but I've got liquid blush and liquid highlighter that have that like shimmer to them. So let's play around. I'm thinking maybe I'll just build base and then we'll play. So let's start by just building a very simple base. So we'll start with the Profusion Moonlight Magic palette and Intriguing and just build a base. So I'm just filling in the lid space so that everything else has something to grip onto. Just like that. Simple, clean, easy. All right. Now, while I was doing that, I came up with a plan. So I'm actually gonna leave you guys to figure out if you can guess it as we go. So I want to point out that I said Zoe inspired look because I'm not a cosplayer. I don't try to replicate things. I like going into things feeling like I'm a part of it, as far as I'm a fan getting to enjoy getting into the spirit of things. But I don't try to claim that I'm replicating things by any sense of the word. I'm 43 years old. I'm not here to obsess over any details or anything like that. I just think it's fun to like go and feel like I'm part of the experience, you know? I'm gonna sing along, and if a little girl goes, look, she's Zoe, you know, it'll be fun. All right, so now I'm gonna go into the color Eccentric. I'm gonna darken that outer third and pull out a slightly winged shape. I'm not gonna go for a cat eye. We're just gonna extend the slightly Asian slitted eye a little bit. Just because I have one, then I can. And we're going with a slightly denser brush. And I'm really just pushing into that hollow of the eye socket and then blending it into the lid. And then you get something that looks kind of like that. And repeat on the other side. All right, now I'm gonna go take a clean, fluffy brush like this. I'm gonna go right into the corner of our Moonlight Magic palette into Reflection, which is our white shade. I'm gonna go into our inner third and just brighten that inner corner. I'm not popping it into the hollow of our inner corner. We're still going into the inner third of the lid and blending it in. And that's gonna give us our gradient. Once you've done both eyes, you'll have something that looks something like that. All right, so now I'm going to look for a very specific kind of brush. All right, got him. So what I was looking for is a dense, flat brush, but something soft. I'm gonna clean this one off on a moistened cotton pad. Keep that handy. Now, I'm start with a dot of this liquid glittery highlighter on the back of my hand. Rub it out till it's really thin, something like that. I'm gonna pick it up on my brush, and starting on the inside to about the middle, I'm gonna paint this over my lid, very thin. Just about like that. And do the same on the other side. All right, I'm gonna wipe the brush off now, and then I'm gonna do this exact same thing with the blush shade. And I'm hoping I'm gonna get a decent mix of the two in the middle. Not bad. Yeah, not too bad. Now right at the tail end, I'm going to try and just kind of taper off a little tail here. And take a little bit of it under the eye. Not really a wing shape, but you know, kind of a, seeing if I can kind of wipe it. Not so much. I'll address it later with a Q-tip or something. It's leaving sparkles everywhere. We shall see. All right. Now let's get to the other side before it dries out too much. This is a little tricky doing it this way, but we'll get there. Turn a little bit. All right, that side's messy as all get out, but we'll clean it up. Not entirely sure how yet, but we will. This is why we're only at the foundation stage on the face, because I think we're gonna need a little help. All right. Let's clean this off. Okay, so now let's see what a Q-tip can do. Start on this side. All right, we'll take my sponge. Okay, now when we finish up the eye makeup underneath, I think we can do something there. Not too bad. What can we do on the other side? I think we're gonna need more than a Q-tip. Yeah, it's gonna need a little bit of a foundation fix. Let's finish this look. We're gonna go back in. I was going to grab the same brush, but I don't know where it is. So we're gonna take something a little smaller and a little bit denser, going back into Eccentric, which is our darker pink. Now we're gonna go in and line underneath the lash, just about halfway on both sides. And then we're gonna go in with Intriguing, which was our lighter pink, and finish off the rest. Connecting all the way into our inner corner and blending those two together. Something like that. Now, let's find some sparkle. I think I am. I'm gonna go in to Fanny Pack, woohoo! Which is our lightest pink in our festival palette. We're gonna go right in with our finger, and we're finally gonna hit that inner corner. Pop that right in there. That is pretty. Let's load that right up. You know what? let's go ahead and let's add a little bit, pull it out for a little bit of tail at the end as well. Just using your finger, just kind of drag out that end as well. And that is our shadow. All right, my lips need some moisture. So I'm gonna go in with my Profusion lip stain in the color Lychee Glaze. I'm just gonna trace this on and let that sit for a little while. We are gonna wipe it off and then reapply later, but just give that a little minute. Okay. Oh, I feel like I've got like a little cat hair somewhere. Okay, let's go ahead and set under our eyes. I need to find this. All right, I feel like I still have glitter everywhere. Let's cleanse. All right, so I've been at it for about an hour. Puts us at about 5:30. All right, we are doing very good, y'all. I don't have much left to do at all. Okay, not me about to put powder on my wet hands. All right, let's go in. So I'm gonna set under the eyes, around the nose. There it is, I got it. All right, on the chin and up on my forehead. All right, unfortunately that little close-up showed me some areas where sweat is breaking down my foundation. So I am actually gonna have to go in with some powder foundation, and since I went in and mixed a lighter foundation, I'm gonna have to go in with another lighter foundation as well, which I am nearly out of, so hopefully I can make this work. I'm a little worried if I'm already sweating through it here. It's gonna happen once I get out in the car. The second anything is touching my face, it's coming off. All right, I'm gonna wipe the stain off so I'm not worried about smearing. Is that a nice color? I like that. Okay, let's get into it. You know what? I'm gonna try this. See if I load up my sponge with the powder, if it'll give me better coverage. Okay, yeah, that's helping. BRB. I'm sweating through this makeup faster than I can set it. Pat it on, and it looks nice until it pats one more time, and then it's lifting. So just lifted the rest of that. So here's what I'm doing. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I am desperate. So I'm gonna get this laid down. And now I'm gonna do something I haven't done for like 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, we are baking. Yes, we are. I've got the Revolution Luxury Baking Powder in the shade Lace, and I am going in with a very fluffy brush. We are baking this in. Whew. All right, we are gonna let that soak up some moisture. For those of you who are not familiar with baking, essentially I've just slapped a crap ton of loose powder all over my face, and that's going to soak up the moisture that is left in my foundation. Any oils that are on my face, I'm going to brush it off in a little bit with a big fluffy brush, and then from this point on I'm only going to use powder products, which is good because I only really had blush and highlighter left, and then I am going to add a little bit more stain and gloss onto my lips, and then we're done. And then I have to change, put the rest of my hair on, and we're out of here. So yes, baking is your final option if you cannot get your foundation to stay on your freaking face. All right, I think we are ready to go. So carefully, I'm going to start fluffing this off. Actually, let's go kabuki. Just before I leave the house, I will hit this with a glowy setting spray, and hopefully it'll bring this dead skin back to life. Actually, I may not even do it until I hit the theater, because baking unfortunately will settle into every line and every pore on your face, but at least my makeup is no longer sliding off my face. So I'm gonna get in close and let you guys see the difference that has made on my skin. All right, so intended on using cream products, but that's not gonna happen. Also, I don't want to use e.l.f. products as much as possible anymore, and my powder highlighter options have now been severely limited. I had intended to use my e.l.f. quad, but I'm not going to do that. So we have one other, I take that back. I have another option. So we are going to go into our Profusion chest. Profusion coming in clutch every single time. I love them. Except they have betrayed me. They came out with the most stunning lip gloss this week, but unfortunately it's poisonous to me, so I can't use it. Anyway, moving on. Let's take this really glowy blush, and I'll go ahead and use the built-in mirror. Thank you very much. And for Zoe, we're actually gonna go into the apples of the cheeks and then up onto the high cheekbones because we are Asian. Thank you very much. Just right in here, like this. Pretty. All right, and we will go in with our highlighter brush, which I can't seem to find. I just dropped the festival palette. Please don't be broken. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Oh, there you are. Right in front of my face. All right, and we will go into this golden highlighter shade here in the corner. Right above that, top that off. I'll hit the nose. I heard you all just screaming right now that I absolutely forgot mascara, and you are correct. So we will load that on as soon as I find one. All right, let's curl. I did consider false lashes, but I'm already gonna have a hard enough time reading the screen because I don't wanna wear my glasses. So lashes were, I think I'm gonna try and curl these again once they are dry, because they're not holding the curl at all. That's better, yeah? All right. So now I'm gonna actually line my lips. So this stain doesn't have to be removed. So I'm gonna, speaking of the stain, there it is. It doesn't actually have to be removed, so you can keep it on as kind of that glossiness, and then as it wears off, the stain gets revealed. So I'm gonna line my lips and then add the stain. All right. And we'll add the stain like that. What do we think? All right, I'm gonna pause you guys here. I'm gonna go do my thing and I'll be back. All right, guys, so this is the finished look. What do we think? Right now, my little fringe is kind of having a mind of its own, but actually, I think it needs to go back a little higher, don't you think? Because her bangs are a little bit, she's got a little bit of a baby bang going on. There we go. So what do we think? All right, I've got to run out because show's gonna start soon. But remember, stay safe, be kind to yourself. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.